Let's go ahead and start grounding.
I just got the chills.
We have such a beautiful gift with this voice. I would argue that it's our most important tool on our body. Everybody's individual voice opens up inner pathways. When we sing and when we chant, it really can help us calm our systems. If you put your mind to it and you open your heart and you stay present, I believe that's the way that you begin. It's not even about singing as the outcome. It's about singing as the tool. This is where the shift really happens. Let's just see what comes through for the G mode. Oh, the power of attraction. Oh, the magnetism. Magnetic, I am here for it. Come on. G mode on, baby.
Woo! For those that don't know you, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my pleasure. My name is Katrina Blackstone, aka the Singing Oracle, and I am a vocalist, a sound healer, and a voice liberation guide. Let's go ahead and start grounding, love.
Do it.
All right, so we're going to take a moment to ground our energy. Taking a moment to feel yourself rooted in your seat, your feet on the ground, or if you're sitting on the ground, just bringing your attention to your root. And we're going to send our root down into the earth, grounding down, feeling the support and the stability that the earth offers us. And we're going to take some nice deep breaths in. So we're going to start breathing in through the nose, filling the belly. Hold. One more sip. And then exhaling with a soft sigh. Breathing in again through the nose. Hold. One more sip. And then exhaling with a sigh. And last breath in, breathing in through the nose, filling the belly. Hold. One more sip. And then exhaling with a sigh. Tuning into your heart as you hear these frequencies, filling your cells. And we'll do one more nice deep breath through the nose, filling the belly, taking in all of this. We're going to hold one more sip. And then exhale with the biggest sigh yet. Letting go of anything you do not need. Oh.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you for that. It was so beautiful.
Thank you. It's my new crystal tones, babies.
So beautiful. It was a little hard breathing in this corset of mine, doing the big, deep belly breaths, but grateful. Thank you. What a way to start the show. How did singing and sound become the central thread in your life?
Singing and sound has always been a central thread in my life as far as from the time I was little, I've been singing. I've never stopped. I started talking and I never stopped talking. It's a big joke in my family. I started talking very young and yeah, that's the joke, is once you started, you never stopped. And then along with that came from speaking to singing. And I've been telling people that I was going to sing since I was 3. So of course I went on a journey with all of that. Like a lot of artists, I went from church and musical theater. And then I did go to jazz school. So I studied jazz vocals. And then I went down the electronic music, indie path, indie electronic music path, singing with different producers. And that was really fun. I had some great times singing in different places in Europe and in the States and in China. And then just recently, over the past few years, I really actually around the pandemic time is when the Singing Oracle was born. And I really wanted to begin to use my voice as a more of a healing tool, as opposed to just singing these songs. There's nothing wrong with the songs. They're still jams, go to my Spotify, you're going to hear, they're fun songs to dance to. But I, over the past few years, have really begun to tune in more and really open up the channel and allow these songs that I refer to as soulful heart anthems to come through. And it really also empowers other people to sing along with me and to sing words that really feel good in the body and that are reaffirming their power and the trust within themselves. And then that led me, when I was in Bali, led me to begin feeling the call for sound healing. And I at the beginning of this year, got my diploma for sound healing with the Sound Alchemists. And yeah, I began going down that rabbit hole last year of just looking into how the different frequencies, what they do to our body, and how the sound is so healing. So there's so many layers to how it's become a part of my life, but I think that pretty much sums it up for the beginning part of how it's become central. It's just really my mission, not only for me to help people go from their head to their heart, but also to help them reconnect with their power through their voice, because it's arguably the most powerful tool that we have is our voice.
That's beautiful. You have such a beautiful voice. It's always, it's been really inspiring watching you over the past few years evolve and grow and step more into your purpose. I struggle with confidence in singing. I feel like I have a really bad voice. I've been told that my whole life. And it's just always kind of been like, I've felt embarrassed or shamed for singing. Do you believe that people can become a good singer, or is this something that you're born with?
Firstly, I really do want to take away good and bad, because I believe that there's no such thing as a good or a bad voice. Like, bad. There's definitely not a bad voice, because firstly, our voices are like tuning forks to our bodies. Even though my voice opens up things within people and touches them in certain ways, my voice can't open things within you that your voice can. Your
Mm.
voice opens, everybody's individual voice opens up inner pathways within their own system, within their own
Oh,
body.
wow.
So first and foremost, your voice is very powerful, just in and of itself, of being in your vessel. Okay. Now, then we get into, can you become a good singer? It's the same thing. We all have our own frequency. We all have our own vibe, right? So can we all sing like each other? No, we cannot. We can strengthen our voice for sure. Like for sure we can strengthen our voice, and for sure we can find our way of singing that feels really good. And I would argue that yes, everybody can sing. And in fact, they should be singing because it's very therapeutic. It's very healing. And I think a lot of us, a lot of people have been shut down from childhood about their voice, right? So it makes sense that people would feel that you would feel fear about it. And a lot of times the reason why people are judging you about your voice is because what are we doing when we're actually judging somebody else?
We're judging ourselves.
We're judging ourselves, right? So so many people have had these shutdown experiences about their voice and the way they sound, and maybe you're too loud or you're too quiet, you're too much, you're not enough, you know? So when it comes down to that, it's like, of course, the more, it starts from a very early age, and then the longer it goes, it's like block, 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 block.
Mm-hmm.
So I really feel that you can find your own voice. I really feel that you can find your own voice. I find, and not only can you, but when you do, it's going to be very liberating and feel really good to you. So, and then yes, of course, there's strengthening exercises for sure. Like you can go on YouTube and put in, how can I sound better? And I'm sure there's like 1,000 videos about, because there's certain things, of course, we can strengthen with the muscles. There's different exercises, rather. There's different exercises that we can do that are going to help strengthen our voice. But I think a lot of it comes from confidence and in the delivery.
In your belief system, if you believe that you're a bad singer, it's probably going to, stunt your singing ability, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, because think about it. It's kind of like if somebody's been told that what they have to say doesn't matter, they're going to believe that what they have to say doesn't matter and that they're stupid. So I think that it all goes hand in hand. And like and when we have been shut down and told that we cannot sing and that we shouldn't, then it's I don't know, it's like almost, I just kind of pictured like a vice script on your throat, it's like, and so of course it affects you. So the long and short of it is, yes, there's techniques that you can use. There's definitely different exercises that can help you to strengthen your voice. And then I think it's about finding your own unique voice.
Amazing. I'm really happy to hear that, because I sit in ceremony and I have noticed that the people that are really dedicated to the medicine path, as you know, singing and song is a huge part of that path, that experience. Just like what you said, in ceremony, the songs, the voice, the mantras, ikras, it unlocks different things within each individual person, and it guides the entire container of the ceremony. And I've noticed that the people that are really dedicated to that path, they've become really good singers. The last ceremony I sat in, this woman played the harp and she sang this beautiful song. And at the end, she was like, "Are you wondering why I have so much magic? Why do I have so much magic to share?" It's because she went down to the Amazon and sat in multiple, what they call diets, which is like an extensive one-on-one ceremony with yourself and the plant medicine, and learning their sites and singing to yourself and prayer. So in that time, she unlocked and removed all of her blockages and stepped into her highest version of herself and her abilities as a singer, as an artist, as a creator. And has unlocked all that and is now able to share this like really incredible magic. I have really seen in ceremony the proof that people that said they claimed that they were not good singers, from working with plant medicine for an extensive period of time. It opened, unlocked, and now they're incredible performers, which to me is amazing. So I'm sure, with the work that you do and what you've witnessed, I'm sure you can experience somewhat of the same without doing plant medicine. I'm sure there's exercises that you can do.
Well, firstly, just to respond to what you said too about the plant medicine, what the cool thing about that is also I've met people who have had full songs in different languages come through while they're in ceremony that they, had no idea. They don't even speak that language.
Wow.
So they're tuning into something completely, they've hit a channel, right? And so, yes, I really believe that we are all here to sing. It is not only there's a reason why it feels good, because physiologically it's stimulating your vagus nerve. There's a reason why we even when you kind of get frustrated, you're like, it's like that. It's like our bodies know what we need to do to help to stimulate the vagus nerve, which helps us get into our flow state, which helps us get into the parasympathetic nervous system. So when we sing and when we chant, when we, are humming and doing different things with our voice, it really can help us to calm our systems. So I would say one of the biggest things is because think about what's happening in plant medicine, right? You have exited the building in a certain way, right? You're no longer just tuned in to this analytical mind. You've tuned into something completely different. You're on a different frequency. So that's half the battle right there, is getting out of the head and really being just fully present in the moment and being in this channel and tuned in. And for me, this is why I talk about going from head to heart, and how do we tune in to the heart and ground our energy so that we are able to begin to use this voice. And so it really also just takes practicing and devoting yourself to if you really want to do something, it takes some time and energy, and also, yes, some unmasking and taking some layers that, have developed over many years of being shushed and silenced in whatever way that most people have been from the time they were children in one way or another. So, yeah.
If someone like me is struggling with their confidence and beliefs of their voice, singing voice, what's an exercise, a simple exercise that they could start doing to start unlocking their voice?
Well, for me, I love to have my clients, for when we're not together. So I have an exercise that I do back and forth with people. I think it's always nice to sing with people. So going into a group situation and singing with people can be really healing. If you think about it, we've been singing together for eons, right? And tribally and different religions, and just in every way, through prayer, through singing, through mantra, through all of these different ways of using our voices together, because our voice by themselves is very powerful, but then when we lift them together, there's something in that, it's like you're riding the wave with other people. And I feel like that's a great way. So getting into a group singing, it has to be obviously not like maybe I've also heard some horrible things of people getting into choirs when they're children, though, like the choir directors. I don't know I have heard some crazy stories from choir directors from other people who were shut down as children. I'm like, what is going on? It's crazy to hear some of these stories. But yeah, some sort of fun. So vocal activations, if you go to a vocal activation class, for example, I lead vocal activations, and I'm not the only one. There's many popping up. I think that can be a really fun and empowering way to just start the process of singing when you're singing with other people. And then also I love to have my clients sing affirmations, tune into one of their favorite affirmation artists. So for me, there's this amazing affirmation artist named Co Marie. I'm hoping I'm saying her name right. It's Coax, and I'm pretty sure it's Co. It could be Ku, but she's amazing. I've never actually heard her say her name, but I send everybody to her. So please forgive me if I'm not saying your name and you ever see this. If I'm not saying it properly, but I have people listen to her a lot because it's like really bassy, and it's like, actually, I think you would really like that. If I haven't sent that to you, let me send that to you for
Yeah,
sure,
send it
so
to me.
that you can.
We'll share her
Oh
info
yeah,
too in the notes.
yeah. Yeah, we'll share her info so you can get, and she's got all kinds of different ones, that they're just very empowering. They're very powerful. And I feel like when you can just begin to sing daily, and sometimes it's not as easy. So my clients, oftentimes, like when they're beginning this process, like sometimes people are ready to jump right in and they're really excited to sing. And then sometimes it can take like a month or 2 months
Mm-hmm.
of really just singing with me and us going back and forth together for them to begin to unlock that. But it's really about devoting yourself to it and being like, I want to sing and I'm going to do it. So I think with anything, if you put your mind to it and you open your heart and you stay present and you don't put this, there's, not the need of being perfect or sounding a certain way. Yeah, I believe that's the way that you begin. So I guess to answer your question, that's a long way to say, put on some affirmation music, girl, and start singing with it. And then if you really feel like, and then go to a vocal activation class. And then if you feel that you want to really start expanding that, then start working with somebody, because I feel like having a guide and somebody who's there to hold a supportive space for you is really where it's at when it comes down to it.
So, what kind of transformation do you see with your clients once you start working with them and once they really start unlocking their highest potential with their voice? What kind of transformations or healings do you see?
I see a lot of transformation. It's pretty amazing. I've had clients who came to me who wouldn't sing at all. They just didn't like their voice. And then by the end of our 3 months together, one of them is, actually she's publicly said it. Her name's Yorgita, and she's written me testimonials. And, she's, by the end of the 3 months of us working together, she was singing on Instagram with her daughter. That was so touching because she had felt so scared to sing at all. And had a lot of resistance because she had been shut down as a child. And now she's leading ceremonies and leading people and vocalizing. So that was a huge, profound shift I saw with her. I've worked with people who are beginning to facilitate different types of offerings, but they still don't feel confident within their voice. So they begin working with me, and at first it's challenging. Again, it's like they don't want to sing by themselves. They are kind of second guessing themselves. They're very quiet. They want to have more confidence in front of their class and that they're teaching. And so after working with me, this one particular client went from not really wanting to do much singing at first to asking me for a new vocal, exercise, a pre-recorded one so that she could do it. And she was beginning to sing by herself and find joy in it and feel really confident in front of her classes that she was teaching. So that when I see something like that, it's like, it's huge. And then also something else I see a lot is women who maybe weren't speaking up in their relationships or at work or within their dynamics, their personal dynamics. And then they begin to, because they're like, wait a second, I need to share what's going on, So doing this work, I like to tell people it's not even about singing as the outcome. It's about singing as the tool. So just to help unlock this in general. So for communication, for interpersonal communication, for communication at work, for communication, yes. And singing, can we help you to strengthen your voice and feel more confident in your singing voice? 100%. But really, this is about like everyday life and how you just show up with your voice connected to your heart and really coming from that space. So I've seen a lot of transformation, and it's amazing.
So I have this visual in my head. This visual kept coming up. We're frequency beings and we're having a source consciousness flow through us. It's frequency, it's sound, it's energy. And I see this image of energy and frequency flowing through a body and wanting to come out in every way. And the voice is one way that we express and we create. It's part of the flow process. And if we have blockages with our singing voice, because when we sing, it brings us to another level of frequency, right? So it's like a higher vibrational state. The energy is blocked. We can't create as much. So I would imagine that you probably see with your clients like an opening, becoming more empowered, like stepping more into who they are, like more in flow state with the energy in life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've also, there'll be moments where somebody will come into a session and, I could tell they're not really fully feeling it at that moment. And then by the end, feeling kind of like, oh gosh, just having a rough moment. And then by the end of it, it's like light has returned to their eyes and their energy has shifted, and they're they're just in a completely different state. So it really does shift our state. Really does. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, we're frequency, energy beings, and when we hear certain songs or certain sound bowls, we get goosebumps, we get chills, we get emotional. It brings us back to a certain state. Why do you think so many people are disconnected from their voice as they grow older?
Well, I mean, it starts from children generally. So somewhere along the line between, 3 and 7, or I think actually I was talking to a psychologist the other day, and they said that actually they're finding that it's even beyond they used to say 0 to 7. Our brains are computers and they're just accepting all the information coming in. So anything that you're told, you believe that that's the truth, which is why all of these limiting beliefs are developed as children. But actually it goes to, she was saying it goes to like 11 or 12. So think about that. I mean, that's basically the time when like you are being told the most, like sit down, be quiet, shut up. I mean, people are, being told to shut up a lot of the times. Like I said, I've had clients who have told me that their choir director was like, oh, wow, okay, I see your sister's got the voice. Your sisters are the singers in the family, or here, you stand here and actually don't sing. It doesn't sound good. So don't sing, just stand on stage, but don't sing with the choir. And it's like, and then they're mortified because they're like, well, wait, can I lip sing? But am I going to make the teacher upset if I lip sing? So I don't want to get in trouble, but then people are looking at me and I'm just standing here. And so it's like this shut down. I mean, imagine that as a child, being that happening. Like, it's like some of the stuff that I hear is crazy. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, I know that, it starts from an early age, and then it just kind of compounds and compounds and compounds, And then if you take the fact, so it's really interesting is with women, and by the way, I just want to preface this with saying men and women obviously are shut down. So this isn't just that only women are shut down. But with women, if you ever look at a picture of, I could even send that to you. You could share that if you want to share that, of the voice and the womb, and what they look like structurally, like pictures of them next to each other. It's insane. Like, it's completely insane. The structure is completely...
Wow.
Like the larynx and the fallopian tubes and all of it it's like a crazy mirror. So then you start looking at how connected we are, like our voices are to our wombs as women. And so if anybody's been shut down sexually, then it's going to shut down their voice. If somebody's been shut down with their voice, then it can affect them sexually as well, and with trauma and that capacity. So it's like, and then it's also, when it comes to that, this is where our wisdom comes from as women. This is where life comes from, right? So it's like when we are tuned in to our womb, and it's connected with our voice, this is where magic happens. So this is why I definitely like when I am working with people, there's a lot of somatic work that's involved with it. So releasing, energy from the body, grounding the energy, moving it, moving energy through the voice. And, there's also an aspect of it of talking through things that happened. So, and I'm not a therapist. I will go ahead and just say, but it is therapeutic, it's kind of like, and the emotional component to having your voice shut down, as a child, and, kind of revisiting what happened, because once you can also acknowledge what it is, so that's something that a lot of my clients, they'll kind of understand and see, oh wait, this is where it started, this is, and then when you have the knowledge of where it started, it's like somehow you can release the energy, and it's liberating, because you're like, oh, okay, and you can kind of understand why that happened and where that came from. And then it just takes kind of some unwinding and some practices that are going to help to open the voice and to get you back into your body, and out of your head, because also that's part of it too, is getting out of the head, getting into the body, getting into the heart, being grounded, staying right here and being present for what is. And this is where the shift really happens when we're using our voice.
How has sound therapy been different for you compared to regular talking therapy and other healing modalities?
Sound therapy is so powerful because you are receiving these frequencies that are filling all of your cells. When you are laying in a posture of receiving and just really allowing yourself to, hopefully that the brain is going to go offline and you are in a state of receptivity, which, for example, like crystal bowls help you to get into this state, because they vibrate all of your cells, especially, the ones that I work with are clear, 99% clear quartz crystal. And then they are mixed with different like smoky quartz and platinum. And so not only are you getting the healing frequency from the quartz crystal, but from the crystals that are being infused within them. And so especially when you get certain types of tones, like binaural tones, for example, they help you to get into a state of homeostasis. So certain sound healing can, especially with these types of bowls, they can actually balance the left and right hemisphere of your brain, and they take you into a theta state. So you are able to just receive the sound throughout your entire body without having to think it through. So when you're speaking and having talk therapy, for example, you're reliving situations, you're talking them out, and it's very helpful to talk things through. So I'm definitely no way saying that it's not helpful, but I believe that when people are reliving the situations and talking them through, if they're kind of constantly revisiting something, then it's like re-traumatizing, It's one thing to acknowledge it, look at it, help to clear it. And it's another thing to kind of continue in the loop. So the difference with sound healing, in my opinion, this is just my humble opinion, because I'm not a therapist, I'm not a clinical psychologist or anything like that. But in my opinion, sound healing is more powerful because of the way that it vibrates your cells and helps your body get into a state of homeostasis. So yeah, it just allows you to get into a different state of being.
Wow, that is so cool. I actually didn't realize, this might sound silly. I didn't realize that the sound bowls were made from actual crystals, like all crystals. You said 99%.
Well, these are crystal tones. Shout out to crystal tones. So yeah, this is 99% clear quartz crystal mixed with the rest of smoky quartz.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really powerful too, because this particular brings it up to the crown. The smoky
Mm-hmm.
quartz is very grounding, and then
Mm.
the tetrahedron helps to bring it up through the body, bringing the grounding energy. And then yeah,
Wow.
my oh yeah, and then this one has platinum mixed with. You can kind of see
Wow.
like the yeah, so these are like the best bowls you're gonna get. Not every bowl is made the same. Listen, there's also Tibetan bowls. There's different things. Those frequencies and those vibrations, and then because then you get into different notes that the bowls are playing, and then
Mm-hmm.
those create different. They activate different chakras.
Different things, yeah.
So
But
yeah,
so cool with the crystal bowls because instead of touching and receiving the healing energies, physically from the crystals, you're receiving it vibrationally from the
yeah,
crystals, which is
yeah,
amazing. That's so cool. So thank you for
yeah.
sharing that. I learned something new today.
Yeah. Well, another way to talk about it too is it vitalizes all of your energy centers, and it regulates your
Mm.
nervous system, and it just yeah,
Wow,
it's really cool. Sound healing is pretty
really
profound.
cool. Can you play that little the
Yeah.
the one that you were just holding up so we can hear it? Hmm. Wow,
Yeah. I think it sounds like a spaceship.
it does. I just got the chills 2 times, full body chills.
Yeah, they're really
Amazing.
powerful by themselves and together, of course.
You're not just doing sound healing and voice activation, you're also doing what else? What's this other workshop that you're working on right now? You're working with freestyling, and I know you did the singing
Hmm.
oracle. That's actually when we first met, when you started doing the singing oracle, which was really, really cool and really fun. But
Yeah.
let's talk about what you're offering now.
My offerings are I have the Siren Sound Bath, which is
Mm-hmm.
an ocean themed sound journey that is very transcendental, and I'm looping my vocals, and it really takes you to a whole other space and time, where you can receive messages, where you can just deeply relax. That's an offering that I'm really excited about right now, and I'm starting to offer it in Dubai currently. I'm in Dubai, which is crazy. You know that I just got here like 2 months ago, and yeah, I'm excited to bring this siren sound bath energy here. I do these vocal activations, and also I work one-on-one with clients, but I have this new mini course that I am going to be releasing soon that I'm really excited about, called Follow the Muse. And it is basically about it's about it starts as it's about freestyling and helping people to get out of their head and to go with the flow. So, and how what that looks like when you're freestyling, but actually, it's really kind of touches on all of life, because it's like, how do we stay present, and how do we stay in this moment, and then take the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. So I teach people how I basically how I channel, how I freestyle. I've been having people ask me this for years. How do I do it? And so I finally have made a mini course that's going to be coming out soon. So I'm really excited to launch that soon for people to follow along with me and learn some of the different tools that I've discovered that I do. Because honestly, at first I really wasn't like, people have been asking me for a while, and I was like, I don't know how to describe what's happening. But when I started taking a step back, I realized, I was like, oh yeah, it starts with a line. It starts with maybe a phrase or a word, and then it just continues from there if you're willing to trust it. And so that's why I call it following the muse, because yeah, if the muse jumps off the cliff, you got to follow her. If you do, you can have like amazing results and like have this, and maybe even a full song come through. But if you close it off and get stuck in your head and you're like, I don't know how to say anything after that line, or I don't, you freeze up, you cut off the kind of the channel. So basically in the course, we go into how to, how to begin following the muse, and how to begin freestyling, and on that journey.
Wait, so you can teach me how to freestyle rap?
It's not about rapping. So yeah, let's definitely clarify that.
I'm like, wait, hold on. This sounds epic.
Listen, you can definitely, yes. Okay. Who this is not for, this course is not for people who want to be in a cipher or like in a hip hop, like MC style. I'm not an MC style, like rapper. Okay. However, yes, I sing, I freestyle sing, and some people, you can also speak it. Sometimes I do speak as well. I would definitely, it would be a far, I'm far from being a rapper, let's say that. And so I did lead recently. I led a masterclass in this online, and I did have a woman who wanted to do it with just freestyle and speaking, and she did, and it was awesome. And she actually kind of went between speaking and singing, and that's how it starts. So
Yeah.
I can definitely teach you how to begin the process of starting to follow the prompt. And the way that I teach it is with a oracle card. So we do it with like an oracle card anchor, so that we get maybe, a word or a phrase or something that comes through, and then we go from there. So yeah, you could
Well,
definitely learn, girl.
should we show the audience what
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We can go into it. So we could do one card pull, but I am feeling let's do 3 cards. Or let's just see what comes through for the G mode. G mode on, baby. Let's see what comes through for G mode on. So we're going to start with tuning in what is here in this moment. We're going to ask what the listeners for G mode on need to hear right now in this moment. Oh, I love this. We got beyond the mind, the heart beats. Beautiful. And what else? Ooh, bring it into form. And what you want wants you. I love this.
I like that.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
we want a lot of things, so they want us to,
Let's
let's
go.
go.
Let's go.
All right, so let's see what comes through. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. It's time to come to life. Step into the moment right now, here and now. We're gonna do it. Take our time, oh yeah. We got to walk the path that we feel called to. Step into our soul. Step into the trust in knowing to the flow. It is the power of attraction. What are you attraction? What are you saying? What are you bringing in? What do you want? What are you visioning? It is about getting out of the head into the heart. That's where it starts. Out of the head into the heart. That is where it starts. Oh, you feel, you feel, What is it your soul wants to say? What is it here for you today? Tune in, see what it wants to say. Get quiet, meditate. When you do that is when all of it comes on through. Come on. Come on, come on, feel it now, oh feel it now, put your hand on your heart and feel it now, you know that you want to now, I know that I'm here for a reason, I know that I'm guided, oh I believe it. Tune into your heart, oh that's where it starts, oh yeah. Ooh, tuning into what is here for you today. I trust myself today. Ooh, if you're with me, still sing now with me. I trust myself, I trust myself. I trust myself, I trust myself. I trust myself, I trust myself. I trust that I am guided now. I'm bringing it all, bringing it into form. Oh, the power of attraction. Oh, the magnetism, magnetic. I am here for it. Come on.
Woo! Yes, girl.
Ooh. Yeah.
Thank you.
So that is a way that you can take oracle cards and just flow with them. And, it's not about being perfect. It's literally just about letting whatever wants to come through. I mean, there is definitely, you'll get messages and you don't ever know. And it kind of depends on the moment you're in, but it's fun. And these are just fun, like little jump off points. And in the course, I will tell you also like how to get unstuck. If you find yourself in a freestyle moment and you freeze. So I have my unstuck tools. But yeah, it's a really fun way to start with oracle cards and just even starting with one and just kind of putting on a beat and seeing what wants to come through. So yeah, we go over that in my cute little mini course.
So it's just a different way of receiving downloads from source through oracle cards, opening your voice through singing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a way to basically, it's just a way to, again, I know I keep going back to this, but getting out of the head into the heart, into the present moment, because freestyling isn't about talent. It's literally just about trusting what the next thing is and the next thing. I mean, you saw me a couple of times. I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, but then the next word comes because you just start shifting and maybe switch it up a little bit. And yeah. And then a message comes and it's a really fun way to, open your voice and get into your intuition and tune in. So I highly recommend it.
So we have to talk about this. Speaking of following step after step, not knowing what's coming next, you have actually been living that over the past few years. Ever since we've met, you really have just been like, I don't know what's coming. I don't know what's coming next. I'm just following the stepping stones, trusting what's unfolding, trusting what's coming. And you've moved all over the world. You're now living in Dubai. You were living in Bali before. You were just all over Europe. And you didn't really have much of a plan. You just kind of followed whatever came your way. And most people don't live that way. So can you talk on that a little bit? How has, what does that journey look like for you? And how have you gotten to that place of following your intuition?
Oh my gosh. It's been a journey and a half, like not only just like physically the journey all over the world, but I was really somebody, and still am, it's something that's a daily practice for me, getting out of my head. Like an overthinker doesn't even begin to, it's just the beginning. Just saying overthinking is an understatement of like how I used to be. I was kind of like questioning everything. And just hypersensitive and just kind of constantly like, like doubting and wondering and wanting to like really knowing that there was something more for me, but not knowing how to break free from a lot of the limiting beliefs that I was living by, that I was really living by daily. Everything's basically broke loose for me back in 2018 when I ended a 7-year partnership and I moved to LA. I stopped drinking. I, had to really clean up different ways of being. And I went down a whole, started my healing journey. And I believe that the reason why this has become a big part of my life is because I am here to help people to trust themselves and to trust the guidance, the internal guidance. I was so inundated and like I said, with these limiting beliefs and with just trying to be a certain way that really was not feeding my soul, and, involved with different, just medicating with different substances, and, that I really was not listening to my intuition. And so for me, I really had a very challenging, I'm gonna call it come to Jesus moment where it was just like, girl, you got to shift some things, it's time to really shift and start showing up in the way that you were here to show up. So I think for me, because there were so many years there where I was not following my intuition, I had a bit of a harder, moment. And I've had to really learn how to help myself through these different somatic practices and how to stay in the present moment. This is where the Singing Oracle was born back in then 2020, right? So 2 years later, right when I thought, okay, cool, I've started feeling better in my body and had, like it was time to start going into my music career again. This is then the pandemic hit. And this is actually like, I think you and I met like right before that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was where I was started being called to tune in and start doing these daily readings. And this is where the Singing Oracle was born. And so really the way that I was at my beginning of my healing process was these Oracle cards, like I couldn't make sense of a lot of things at that moment. I just was like, really letting go of years and years of, programming. And so the only thing I could do was like pray and pull Oracle cards and like, be like, what's next? And so that's like kind of where this all began. And then where I started going down the path of healing and learning these different modalities and really healing myself so that I could help others. And I realized at that time how powerful the voice really truly is, because of course I've always have sang, like I said, and I had been singing professionally. And, I got very positive feedback from what I was doing with my songs and my music and who I was working with. But again, there was still this, like, there was this, there was like a hole or like something that felt like it wasn't right. And so I feel like I had no choice but to begin to be guided. And actually, I was working for a really amazing coach back in 2020. So during the pandemic, I started working with this coach, and then I was on her sales team, and I was really going for it within that career, but still not answering my soul's call to use my voice and to be also helping people use their voice, because that was a calling and I wasn't listening. And then going back to medicine ceremony, I was in medicine ceremony, and it was my first time doing ayahuasca, and I had a full-on awakening, and it was like, it's time to leave what you're doing and to take a different path. And I saw myself up on stages, and I saw myself in different parts of the world. And so when after ceremony, a few weeks later, everything completely disintegrated in my life with my work. And, I felt the call, because I knew it was time to leave that. That is when I first started getting the little, whispers of, and what about Bali? What about Bali? And I really, that was a full on trust fall, like completely. I was like, what am I going to Bali for? I did have a best friend there. One of my dearest sisters, who I've known for many, many, many years, was there. So, I already had some people that I knew, but like, I didn't know like how I was going to make money or what I was going to do. I just had this feeling I had to go. And I had no idea what I was walking into, but what I walked into was really the beginning of how this all began, like truly, like me learning how to facilitate large groups of people, how to work with people one-on-one in a more profound way. Like I had been doing some, singing, regular kind of singing lessons and things, but how do I integrate the somatic practices that I had been doing on myself and that I had been learning in these sessions, and also helping people tune into their intuition, and also beginning to with these group vocal activations, and the siren sound bath was born. And for over a year at the yoga barn, I facilitated classes of vocal activation, sing yourself free. That's what I call my vocal activation, and the siren sound bath for 2 classes every Thursday for between 25 to 50 people in each class. So this is where I really stepped into my power of like, okay, this is what I'm so meant to do. So not only am I meant to sing these songs that are coming through and to help people tune in to their heart through the songs that come through me, but also to use their own voice and to use it as a tool, and to tune into their intuition while doing it. And then now it's of course led to, this mini course and all these other things. Dubai was a complete like surprise from the universe. And, but interestingly enough, the reason why the Dubai happened was because of somebody I had met in Bali that took me to Romania for a festival and workshops. And then it was like Dubai was kind of like, oh, okay, I'm going to go back to Bali. So I'll just stop in Dubai for like a couple of weeks on my way back to Bali. And then it was like, surprise, no. How do I do it? I mean, honestly, it's the same thing when we go back to the whole following the muse concept. When you follow the intuition that leads you to take a step that might feel uncomfortable or weird or like foreign to you, quite literally foreign at this point, right? But if you actually follow it and follow the instinct and don't let fear or overthinking get in your way, this is how you step into literally the most magical experience. For me, I have had the most aligned, synchronistic experiences of my life in the past few years because I've been following it. And it's funny because when I made this course a few months ago, I feel like it's been stepped up a notch, where it's like, okay, no, really, you're talking about only having to see the stair instead of the entire staircase. This is really what you're about to, go through. So it's such a trust. I keep going back to it. It's like a trust fall. It's a surrender, But I've noticed in my life that the more I trust and the more I surrender into what my intuition and what my body and everything in me is guiding me to do, and getting out of this head that thinks that it knows, has all the answers, the more beauty and amazing, epic adventures and opportunities unfold. So yeah, girl, you of all people have like really seen it. You of all people have really like been around for the ride and witnessed the whole situation. So let's see, to be continued. Let's see where it takes me next. But right now, Dubai, baby.
Your life is like a perfect reflection of the singing oracle. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the freestyling of the flow of, not knowing what's coming next. Like, your actual physical life is a perfect manifestation and reflection of that work. It's interesting. Perfect fit. Yeah. Perfect match.
Yeah.
Your life with the singing oracle is like a perfect like mirror, Yeah,
well, I mean, I guess how could I guide people to do this as well, and to actually trust that it's going to be okay if I wasn't able to show that you're going to make it, it's going to be okay. It's like, so I'm super grateful. It hasn't been easy, but it's been a ride. I wouldn't change anything. I'm so interested to see where it goes from here, for sure.
Well, me too. So let's talk a little bit about the relationship between voice and manifestation, because you've definitely been using your voice to manifest each stepping stone, the staircase. So let's talk about the power of voice in manifesting.
So let's talk about the power of voice and manifesting. Well, so I really truly believe that, we speak things into existence, right? I feel like you're a big proponent of that as well. We've talked about this before. I believe, I think it comes from the Bible somewhere, and I'm not sure where. And I use it as just how powerful this phrase is, but the power of life and death is in the spoken word. So that's something that's always really stuck with me. If nothing else, having to do with the Bible ever stuck with me, that did. Just that thought of and that whole thing, that sound is the beginning of creation, that frequency is the beginning of creation, right? So, and then when you look at Dr. Emoto's work, the Japanese scientist who was doing all these experiments on water and how you speak into the water. And, when you're speaking beautiful things like, I love you, and, beautiful words into water, it creates these gorgeous crystals and these crystalline structures. And when you say, I hate you, and say things that are not nice frequencies, things that are, it creates these weird, kind of gross looking things in the water. It's nothing, it's not nice at all. It's not pretty. So it's creates chaos, So just over the years, these different little pieces of both of these things that I've been collecting, and just noticing, for myself. And I think this is why affirmations are so an important piece in the work that I do, because and not just speaking them, but singing them. And why do we sing them? We sing them because singing helps you get into the emotion, right? When you are just speaking them, or you're, writing it, you're still thinking with the analytical mind. When you're singing them and you're feeling it, especially if you put on a good beat and it's right there. So it's basically the jump off of what we're saying to ourselves, what we're saying out in the atmosphere, what we're literally creating different experiences in our life with our words all the time, especially just within our own body. I mean, think about it. If that experiment with the water was so profound, right? Because we're 70, what are we we're 70% water, right? So we're constantly, and our cells are always listening to us. Everything is listening. So the voice is very powerful for that. So I highly recommend people to sing good things into their body, and to, shift the energy with singing, and speaking positive things into your life.
It would make sense that if singing actually helps you align and connect with higher frequencies, right? Because it's bringing your tone, your frequency up to a higher vibrational state through the sound, right? So then you have an easier time to align with higher frequencies of life, right? It just makes sense.
I was just watching something too. It's about, because a healthy person has all of these different, we have all these different tones and different, we have all these inflections and going up and down and all these different things. Have you, you hear somebody who's sick, and they're don't have much energy. They're maybe just you, even when you've been sick, you're just oh man, I don't have much in me to give, So there's, you can hear in that there's, it's dis-ease. It's not resonant. It's when you have these different, frequencies that bring up your energy, and then especially you're singing into that, and then that's also stimulating your vagus nerve and calming your nervous system, and then it goes into the subconscious because you're feeling good while you're singing it. So that's why I highly recommend singing them as opposed to just speaking them, but even speaking them is very powerful too. So whatever it is, you want to feel it. So as long as you feel,
you want to bring that emotion, for sure.
You want to bring the emotion in.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah. Love that. What role do voice, truth, and self-expression play in this collective evolution?
When you are tuned in with your voice and your voice is unlocked, it is so powerful because you are exuding a confidence. You're able to speak your truth. You're able to share your perspective. You're able to share your gifts and whatever that is. Whether that's sharing information that you have, whether it's actually singing with your voice, or whether it's, teaching, sharing, like shifting. I believe that we all have it's like we are all affecting each other. Nothing is actually separate. All of it is connected, right? So when one person starts to express and is able to tune in to that, it actually helps the other people around them. It causes a ripple effect. So people being able to actually tune in to their self-expression and tune into their voice creates a ripple effect in the world, because it helps give other people permission to use their voice. And it creates, like I said before, our voice is powerful by itself, but then when we use it together with other voices, it's even more powerful. And then it really starts to create a ripple effect when we join our voices together. When we have self-expression, it gives permission to other people to express themselves. And especially when we use kindness, and so it doesn't have to be like you're on a stage or you're a singer or you're a coach or you're any of these things. It could be how you talk to the people at your bakery, how you show up for your kids and talk to them. It's like, how do you express yourself in a way that helps us connect with each other, and then self-expression can be so many different things. Some people need to just be able to use self-expression to get something off their chest that they didn't feel like they could share. And then doing that opens up a whole other avenue of things for them because they weren't able to express themselves before. So I think it's really powerful for people to be able to use their voice. And it just causes a ripple effect in all of society, really. Is when we can actually tune in and show up with our voice and whatever that looks like.
Where do you feel humanity is shifting right now?
Well, I definitely feel that people, from what we're seeing, people are getting tired of doing the same old thing. They don't want to be behind desks and 9-to-5 jobs at a place under fluorescent lights that feels like it's sucking their soul out of them. They are becoming more empowered to think for themselves and like do something that maybe their family didn't see for them or didn't try to push them into. So there's like, on that level, there's like this kind of individuality and freedom and self-expression that's coming through in that way that I see that we're evolving into. And that really gives me a lot of hope, because, the more people are lit up by what they're doing and aren't just, dredging along doing what they think they're supposed to do, or, what they've always done. This is when things start to shift energetically. And again, it's that whole ripple effect. I feel that humanity is going into a good space. I think that all the structures, like the old structures, are beginning to crumble. And this is why it's been highly uncomfortable this year, because we're starting to see on big stages, like lies that have been told to us. And, where some people were kind of like, there's been people on the fringe that have been noticing what's been going on for a while. I think it's becoming more evident for a lot of people that they're seeing like, oh, like it's kind of like the wool is being pulled off the eyes, right? And people like a light is getting shown on the some of the darkness and the ways that these systems that have been created to ultimately actually shut people down and not allow them to use their voice, right? So for me, I have hope. And I mean, I am a double Sag, so I'm very optimistic. But I see people beginning to, to want to get back into tuning in with nature, who want to get back onto their kind of, honoring the body, honoring the earth, tuning into the intuition, taking action, and following their heart, following dreams that they've wanted to do, and taking different steps, and not wanting to just live a life that is, when it really comes down to it, is something that they might regret later. So I'm excited for the shift that I see, and I feel that, I mean, it's a bit utopian of me, but I do feel that we can get into a better state as in the world, because humans really, one thing I've noticed, especially in all my travels, at a core level, it is not what you're seeing. Like, definitely, I don't even watch the news, but I know I've watched it enough around other people to know what the news is spouting out. And they're like spouting out that, there's all this division and there's all these messed up things happening. And yes, there are those things. But what I've seen 98% of the time, as opposed to division and strife and people being different and not, accepting you and creating any kind of havoc, is actually people being very kind and people being open to wanting to share their, share what they do, and they are very giving. And like all of these different places that I visited, like people at the core are very similar to each other. Like we have, yes, culturally we're different, and where we live, where we come from, and our history is very different. But at the core of it, humans are, I really do believe at the core of it, we all crave the same things, which are, freedom, love, and a beautiful future for our children and for ourselves and for our children. So I believe that the more people tune in to the frequency of love and to showing up in their own way, in whatever way that is, to bring more of that into the world and to connect with each other, that's the biggest thing. Is I see more connections starting to happen, because I think people are getting tired of just being online all the time, and just listening to influencers. I'm starting to see more, I think that this is going to happen a lot in these coming years. You're going to see more community events, more pop-up events, more things where people are connecting, because I think people really want to connect. Like that's just a human desire. So I see us heading towards a good way if we can continue to allow these old, dinosaur structures to fall away, and to, continue to connect with each other and accept, and actually be excited by our differences and by our unique points of view, and want to learn and share those things. And just continuing to follow our hearts, and, adding to the world what it is that we have to add and to bring. Whether that's baking or singing or dancing, or, maybe some people love accounting. My friend loves spreadsheets, it's like, what is it that you love to do? Bring it to the world, just do what it is that feels good to you. And you're, follow what you are here for, is, our Dharma, really. So it comes down to following the Dharma. I think the more people do that, the better the world's going to be.
Beautiful. Any final words?
Any final words? Oh, well, I want to say thank you for having me here. It's so beautiful to witness you in this new podcast era, and the G mode on. I love what you're bringing, and the awareness, and with the beautiful style and elegance that you are bringing it. And so I'm excited to see how it all unfolds. And I would say for final words for people that are struggling right now, that are having a hard time, and maybe feel like their voice is shut down, or, and feel like they aren't as expressed as they want to be. Yeah, just start singing, start, pulling cards, go to pull cards and sing with those. Go to a vocal activation class, do something, go to a choir, go chant, go find a community where you can use your voice with them. And tune into your intuition and just see what your body says when you see an opportunity of oh, does this sound like something I'd be interested in? Or find someone to help you, whether it's me or somebody else to work with that can hold you in, a container that can help you to express. Because honestly, when you unlock the power of your voice, you unlock pretty much everything in your life. I really believe that. So yeah, and just keep singing because it feels good. And yeah, sing some affirmations to yourself. So yeah.
Where can people connect with you and find you?
They can find me on the Katrina Blackstone on Spotify to listen, to my music. I have new music coming out sometime next year, so stay tuned for that. Pretty much Katrina Blackstone everywhere, Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. And then you can go to thesingingoracle.com. Stay tuned because my mini course will be coming out soon, sometime in the beginning of 2026. Stay tuned for that. So thesingingoracle.com, you can also see about my offerings and where I'll be next there on Instagram. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, babe. Such an honor to have you here. I love you so much. Happy holidays.
Thank you.